Hello my lovely red mare crew. It's a very quiet Sunday and we're expecting a visitor, which has been something so rare, as you can imagine, over the last year. And I thought that I should do grooming. I'm not a huge groomer, but look, you see all the grooming kits are out. Landlord's got a big pile of sand. I think some of it's going to go here, which will be really exciting. So that's what that is. And the red mare, as you can see, has had a nice little tidy up. And she is doing, well, she's doing two things. First is what we call the standing still Olympics. So that means that she's been just there for, oh, I don't know, 25 minutes maybe. I finished her early and went and did float. And then I came back to her and I saw that she was doing the standing still Olympics. That basically means that she stays where I leave her. And I talk about this quite a lot. It's not a trick, there's not a cue. It's simply that the way that we work our horses, we teach them that when we offer them a place to rest, they take the place of rest, and that they then don't do anything until we ask them to do something again. And so it's more a principle really than a method, that we only ask our horses to do something when we want them to do something. So for instance, when we're riding, we don't apply any lower leg at all. We save the lower leg for when we want to ask. I was taught when I was a little girl, I was taught that to keep your horse up to the walk, you kicked with every stride and you kicked with alternate feet. You know, not a big kick, but just a little nudge. And since I've changed the way I think about horses and changed the way I work with horses, I just thought about that. Imagine you're walking along and someone's just poking you. Poke, 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 poke. And maybe it's a person who doesn't speak English, because that's what we humans are to horses. We speak another language, we don't speak their language. So imagine you're an English speaker, it's a non-English speaker, so the verbal communication between you is non-existent. And you're walking along and they're poke, 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 poke. I mean, what would you think about that? Would you think, oh, this is fun. I really want to discover this person's culture. We don't need words. We can communicate across the language barrier. No, you wouldn't. You'd think, sod off. And so I look at these horses being ridden and think of the way I used to ride my ponies and kick. I would hate a person who did that to me. And I would consider it really bad manners. And so I don't do it to my horses. Everything is, we just sit, leg off. If they're lovely walking forward, we completely leave them alone. A lot of our riding is getting out of our horses' way. That's a little bit of a side note, but it's very much connected with the principle of the standing still. We don't teach them to stand still, we just teach them that if we're not asking them something, they're not doing anything. Now, she's not just doing standing still Olympics, as you can see. She's also in what I call the place of peace, and I love the place of peace so much I wrote a whole book about it. Hello. Look who's come to say hello. Yes. Flo is much younger and much less experienced and much newer to the field. So she doesn't go quite so deep into the place of peace. And she's only just learning about the standing still Olympics. But as you can see, again, not tied up. We don't tie our horses up at all. We either ground tether like that or put the ropes over their back like that. Yes, the red mare she's doing more than the standing still Olympics. She's gone into the place of peace. Now, how can I tell the difference? Well, the standing still Olympics is just to do with immobilization. It's just to do with them not moving their feet. But often they'll be standing still and they'll be on quite high alert. The coos will be doing something up there, Clovey and Freya will be doing something over there. There'll be mad walkers in the woods over there. As it is, you can see that she's not thinking about anything. She's not actually quite asleep. She looks a bit like she's going to sleep. Okay, Flo, you going to stand for me? Good girl. Oh, big breath. But what she is, you can see, is... Oh, she's in a dream. She's in a trance of pleasure. You can see the lower lip, that's always her signature. If that lower lip goes long and wibbly, then we know that all is well in her world. If you look through the body, everything is soft. Oh, my friend Justin Cahoon, who's a beautiful horseman, he always says look at the whole horse. I used to get really obsessed with nostrils or eyes or ears, and all of those are important, but you've got to look at the whole horse too. So that all her muscles soft, yes they are. We got a completely relaxed horse physically, but for me the mental relaxation is just as important as the physical relaxation. So yes, I want those muscles all lovely and soft. Yes, I want that wibbly lower lip. Yes, I want those blinky eyes. Yes, I want those dozy donkey ears. But I want to know that that's coming from a really deep place of relaxation, a deep place in her mind where she feels that everything in her world is good and safe. And with prey animals, everything really comes down to life and death. So it's, do they feel safe in the mountain lions? And that depends on a lot on their human. She's essentially saying to me, I'm not on alert, you can take this shift. It's as if I'm stepping up to be the lead mare, to be the one who keeps watch. And she's the lead mare in her little herd. So I like doing that for her because I think it's time she had a shift off, you know. She does a lot of work, she needs a rest. And there we are. That is a profoundly peaceful horse. I saw a thing this morning on one of the Facebook groups I belong to. I belong to lots of thoroughbred groups and ex-racehorse groups. And somebody said that people in her barn were giving her grief about having a thoroughbred. And, you know, because thoroughbreds are crazy and thoroughbreds are hot and temperamental and you can't do anything with them. And I always think, yeah, come and look at my thoroughbred and say that to my face. Yeah, come and meet the Queen of Zen. Thoroughbreds are one of the greatest breeds in the world. And as each individual horse will have the stamp of his or her breeding, his or her bloodlines, but she will also reflect the human. So thoroughbreds are really what you make them. And this is mine.